Hi everyone, thanks again for joining me on another episode of Rising Stories. This is episode number 27, and as always, would love for you to check out the links and resources on this podcast, and that can be found at CorrineSandifer.com. I love to interview business owners and authors, and I do that here on Rising Stories, and I hope that it will encourage you to either build your own business or write your own story or your book, and also just to be encouraged as a woman and as a person. A lot of times I hear myself in a lot of their stories and journeys, and I hope that you do too. And that's why I started this podcast, so that we could connect with each other, and I hope that you will do that. Please continue to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. You can also find me on Facebook. And I would love for you to share this podcast on LinkedIn. It is a great place to encourage other business women and find authors that are launching their books. So if you do have a LinkedIn account, would love to connect with you, connect with me on LinkedIn, and share about this podcast. My guest today is Susana Baumann. She is one of those powerhouse ladies who is a game changer in her world. It just so happens to be my world, as we are both part of the Latin community. Susana is an award-winning business writer, a multicultural speaker, and a mentor who partners with key community leaders all across the globe. I had the best time talking with her today. We talked about everything from the importance of giving back to our community, women in the corporate world, and her favorite app. So grab a cup of coffee, a tall glass of tea like I have beside me, or a glass of wine, and listen to my conversation with Susana.
LCS Worldwide, and I'm pursuing more this new digital platform that empowers Latinas in business and the workplace.
Okay, and so tell me what's going on with the Latinas and business, and you feature them in the workplace. Are there entrepreneurs? Are there more Latinas starting businesses out there?
They're starting businesses 6 times the traditional market rates. So 6 times, more than the traditional market. So yes, there has been an incredible boom. We are really rocking the boat.
Yes, we are.
Yes,
Yeah.
pushing the economy, hiring, employees. Most of these businesses are small. We call them micro businesses, 5 employees or less.
Okay.
But they really build community around them. They hire family, they hire friends, they give back to the community. So they're really little generators of activity in their own communities.
Yes, I can see how that it is a trend, and there's a lot of women that are just being empowered by some of the things that you're doing, and me featuring women. I feel like that's helping their businesses as well. So I think it's really growing. I think the market is growing for all women, but I'm excited about the Latina world, and that they're coming up in ranks and opening up businesses. And do you have anyone that is that has a business like in more of a brick and mortar, like a place, not necessarily?
Yes, I do have, especially restaurant owners. A lot of Latinas, when they come to the United States, they start doing whatever the skill they have, and that because it's a quick way to start a business. Some they cook, so that's what they do. They start a little catering business, and they prepare parties for friends or family. And then they grow their businesses, and then they get a place, and they start a restaurant, and they grow from there. I've seen that happening many times. Another business that is booming, and it's very common, is hair. They started a beauty parlor. They start cutting hair at their own homes. they grow into a brick and mortar place. They become they take their
Successful.
certifications, or
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and they become very successful. So there are certain professions that are, yes, are very
Mm-hmm.
popular because they have the skill already, and they grow into successful businesses.
Yeah, yeah, that's exciting. And I think one of the things, I don't know what you have seen as far as Latinas in businesses, but one of the things that I feel like they might have is a thread of just very committed to family. Like you were saying,
Yes.
very committed to community, very community oriented, very committed to their own families as well as their extended families. Like you were saying, they are the ones they hire, their relatives, their friends, neighbors to grow their businesses.
Right. Though that's exactly right. Not only they hire their family and friends, also they have a passion for building communities. I do 4 to 6 interviews a month because our publication, it's not a newsy publication. It's just featuring these promotional articles, and also giving resources and information about business and how to build your business or start your business. And there's not one of these women that I interview, no matter what position they have. As a matter of fact, we just posted this morning an article about Evelise Estrada. She is the senior vice president of communications at Univision. My God, you should see this woman. I mean, the amount of responsibility and the amount of awards and the passion for building community. From there, which is a very high, leadership position, to the little one that is bringing empanadas to their community,
Hmm.
they all have the same passion, giving back. It is
Wow. Yeah.
amazing. It is amazing, and very, actually very humbling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that they
love
do.
that. I love the heart of women in business and just the thread of that. The Latinas from the top to the bottom, they have
Right.
a heart to give back to their communities and love their communities and see them
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
empowered as
Mm-hmm.
well.
Right.
And that's
Right.
that's
Right.
amazing. Yeah. Well, tell me about your story.
Okay.
How did you get to where you are now, and where were you born? And uh, we hablamos español. We shared a little bit before the
Sí,
interview.
sí.
We both speak Spanish, and you have to me, it looks like an American name, and of course, mine is my husband's name, Sandifer, but I was Rodriguez, but now Sandifer. So neither one of us have like a very typical Latina last name.
That's her last name. I was born in Argentina, and many years ago. Don't ask me how many.
Hmm. We won't,
and
yeah.
and in Argentina there is a lot of European immigration. There was a lot of
Yes.
European immigration, and my grandparents were immigrants from Europe, both sides. One from Swiss German and Polish, and the other side, my mom's side, was all Italian.
Okay.
And so that's what I got. Bauman is my maiden name. I didn't change my name ever because I was a professional. I do have a past life. I studied architecture back in Argentina, and I was a college professor. And then when we migrated to the United States in 1990, I changed totally my vision for my work. Went back to school, got a master's degree in communications, and that's what I love to do. And started
Wow.
working. Yeah, I started working also because I had the skill of English language. I was able to start as a translator, and then I worked for corporate for a little while, and also for the government of New Jersey. And one day I said, well, if I can do this for other people, I can do this for myself.
Yes.
And I started as a side business, and then I went full time when the time was right, and it was a wonderful ride since
Ah, what a great life you have led. It's
then.
amazing that you were very successful in your home country, and now very successful here, and giving back probably both places with both things. You were giving back to your community, or at least connecting with people in your area. So that's really interesting.
Yes, I was. As a matter of fact, I was going to say that that we are changing the. I can see. I also one of my other target audience is women in corporate, especially the younger ones who are just trying to climb up the ladder, and they need mentorship. They need help in knowing how the machine works.
Hmm.
And I see that all the time, how they're changing the face of corporate responsibility when they have a little bit of power or they have a little bit of influence.
Hmm.
And that is great. I'm working. I'm gonna be a speaker at an event of a Latina. She has a pretty high for her young age. I mean, she's under 30, a pretty high position in a company, and a very large company, insurance company, and she has just started a nonprofit called Lift
Hmm.
to help new leaders, who want to pursue their career in corporate. And you
Wow.
see these women working 10, 12 hours in a job and then going home and keep working to
Hmm.
help their communities. So it is fantastic. It is really as I said, humbling to see they're changing the face of corporate America. Latinas, we are changing the face of corporate America, teaching corporate how to look at the community.
That's wonderful. Wow. That's amazing that, and you are right there in the pulse of it all because you're connected to so many women, so many people.
Yes, the way I started this initiative, I had connections through my business,
Hmm.
so that and I did write. I was business writer for many years, supplementing always my income, because the business goes up
It
and then goes down.
fluctuates. Yep.
So I always supplemented my income with publishing and writing, which I love to do anyway. And I had these connections, and I had these contacts in the business world. I always was concentrated on the business world. And so when I started it was easy to introduce it to some organizations that I already had contacts with, and everybody received, and then, believe me, Corinne, I am the new kid in the block. I'm not even as successful as other incredible women. Nelly Galan. I mean, she's been doing this for quite a number of years, and she has had incredible following. Another woman that is here in the Northeast is Mariela Dava. Mariela is the founder of the Red Shoe Movement, and she has incredible. She's now at a global level, and
Oh,
she has
wow.
been incredibly successful in empowering women and Latinas, but also women in general. So I consider myself just a little, a little guy just starting out. Dr. Angelica Lopez Lipkin. She's also a very Latinas think big. She started with a STEM, and now she has expanded into other. So it is amazing. Angelica Perez Lidwin, I'm sorry. Angelica Perez Lidwin. So all these women have done incredible job helping Latinas start their businesses, connect with each other, networking among each other, creating mentoring programs. So I'm just a little, just starting up, and I'm learning from them.
That's great. That's great. And so you were saying you supplement your income. So you would describe yourself as a writer and a mentor,
I describe myself as a communicator. I
communicator.
love that. Yeah, I love that
Excuse
word
me.
because it embraces a lot of activities that I do. Teach, train, write, and now talk.
Yeah. But now you're on the podcast. Yeah.
So yes, I am a communicator and a facilitator. I love to connect people. I love to provide information from each other. Look, if you like, I can provide you with contact information about women I know. Why not? Share the knowledge, share a common body of knowledge that we all need to grow and succeed. Okay,
Right.
because nobody has succeeded by themselves.
That's true. Very
Eh,
true. Hmm. We all
Everybody
need
has.
help. We all need encouragement. We all need a leg up. We all need people to share their expertise with us. And hey, this is how I did it. And a lot of mentorship, you know,
Yes. Yeah.
is
Yeah.
needed in our
Yeah.
community, and really with all women
Right.
need
Right. Right.
mentors. It's
Right.
very
Right.
important.
That was the triggering idea of Latinas in business. I didn't have that. I started my business when there was no Twitter, no Facebook.
Hmm.
And the only way you had to connect with clients was cold calling. And it was horrible. I suffered. I had a heavy accent, so it was hard to talk on the phone. People get, they didn't want to, they got impatient
Hmm.
with me because they didn't understand the accent. So I had to struggle and create a lot of strategies to really, overcome those fears. And then, and it was a blessing when the internet came. I thought it was a blessing because it allowed us to connect with in an incredible amount of people and create opportunities for a lot of people.
Hmm.
So I jumped into the technology as much as I'm very. I'm a digital immigrant,
Yeah.
but I love the technology and I try to learn to use it as much as I can.
Yes. Well, and it's ever changing. The technology and everything is
Mm,
so always
yeah,
changing. But
yeah.
tell me, Susanna, about you. What does a day in the life of Susanna look like?
Well, as you grow older, the day starts
Gets
to
different.
change.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. I've always been very active, and not only in work but also in life. I used to, like you said, be involved in a million different things. I used to be very active professionally in Argentina, in as an architect. We had our own studio with my ex husband. I was involved in the Association of Architects. So and I was teaching at the university. So that was, my day. And then I had the children, I had the marriage and the house, and we do
Hmm.
everything. We do
Yes.
everything, and we try to do it the best we can. Now, when I came to the United States, my life changed amazingly. It is adaptation for an immigrant, even a very educated one. I consider me a very educated. I have two master's degree.
Yes.
That doesn't mean anything when you have to go through the adaptation process.
Mm,
Is
true.
brutal, is brutal. It is exhausting until you get into the rhythm of going to the. I remember going to the supermarket and seeing all this product, and it was just exhausting to try to choose one,
Right.
for me, for my house. So
Yeah.
I give I give a lot of credit to immigrants because it's just such a shock to be able to adapt to another country, especially if you don't have the language skill, which I did. Great
Yes.
advantage. And then the education. I mean, you really, it is very, very, very hard. And the day now, Susanna, so I started my business and I was running around. I had clients in nine states. 2 years ago, I was involved in a big car accident.
Oh no.
Yeah, and I had a lot of problems, physical problems, as a result of the accident, and almost for 2 years. You would have seen me a couple months ago. I was walking around with a cane.
Oh goodness.
So on my physical a bit now I'm fine. I had surgery finally. They were not giving me the right diagnosis, whatever. I wrote an article about that if you want to, take a look. So I realized that I was not invulnerable, that my life was could change in any day now, and I had to look for other venues of activity. So now I have, I work from home. I have a home office, as you see
Yes.
here,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm very happy. I do take care of me physically a lot because I was very inactive for 2 years. So in the morning I wake up, I do a long walk. I'm walking 1.5 mile a day, and then I start my day and I do a lot of writing, reading, whatever it is that I have to do, emailing, social media. It is another world. You get into this little window and you are right there, in another world. And then I do my activities, either yoga or meditation, or I go out with friends. Very, very laid back.
Yeah. Yeah, varies.
Yes.
Yeah. So do you still do writing for some publications? You're just doing it for Latinas in Business?
Only for Latinas in Business now,
Okay.
because that really keeps me busy. If a client, like for instance now, the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce here in New Jersey, they're having an event and they want me to write some articles for them, I'll do that because they're a client of mine. But only, or someone, as I said, that I have but believe me, it keeps me busy as it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I
Yeah.
am dedicating a lot of time to building this project because it's very exciting. I had a great response.
Yeah, and it's very important too. Very, very important that what you're doing. So tell me, what do you have a favorite, let's back up. Before, I was going to ask you about your favorite app on your phone, but tell me what, before I ask that, what's the best business advice you've ever gotten?
The best business advice I've ever gotten was, you are too talented not to do something.
Oh, I like that. You are too talented not to do something. I like
Right.
that.
Whatever it is you have in front of you. Okay. There's one thing and that was from a man. That was from someone who became a very, very dear friend, who helped me not start the project, but he encouraged me with this idea. I had the idea, but you are like, we women have this incredible tendency, or at least me and other women that I know, maybe it's not everybody, to self doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know. Is this the right time? Do I have the money? What is gonna happen? Can I do this instead of that? Where do I want to go? So he said, "You're too talented not to do it. You have
Yes.
to do it." And it was just, we became very good friends. Has been my mentor, my supporter with this project. Incredible, incredible human being, very dedicated to the Latino community. His name is Luis de la Hoz, and I love him dearly. And so that was the best business, I think. And I keep telling everybody, if you have it in your mind, you're too talented not to do it, because if the idea is there, it's because you have the talent to take it to success.
That's a good point. Yeah. If
Right.
it's there. Yeah, it's not there for not, nothing. For it to just
E-
sit there. Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So tell me, what is your favorite app? Do you have an app on your phone that you're just like loving? You just say, "Oh, this saves me so much time," or "I love this app."
I don't know if it saves me time. My favorite app is WhatsApp.
What's up? What is that? I don't know about that.
Well, it's
Is it
not
a
big in the.
news? It's a news
No,
one. No.
no, it's a communication. It's like Skype, or but it's very popular in Latin America, not in the
Really?
United States. Yes, and WhatsApp has all the capabilities of a FaceTime,
Okay.
but only you connect through any phone,
Is it
any cellular phone.
okay? So is it a like a social media app?
No, 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 no. Just you can call, You can do videos, you can do
Oh.
audio, and you can connect for free to any number
So it's like Skype,
in the world.
kind of like.
But right, but on the phone, on the phone.
Oh.
Sometimes you have, Skype. Well, Skype, I guess, too,
Yeah, you
before,
can do Skype on phone
right,
too,
right,
but
right.
that's
Yeah.
interesting. What's up? Okay, I'm gonna
Yeah,
check
what's up?
into it.
That's for, yeah. And then the other app that I use a lot is YouTube, because YouTube, provides you with a lot of information.
Yes, it
I
does.
would, yeah. So now that we're so image oriented and we're so, motion oriented, I use YouTube a lot to find about clients, potential clients, or interviews, or
Mm-hmm.
people that I want to get information from. So
That's
YouTube is
great.
a big help for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hmm.
Wonderful. So, what do you? Are you a reader? You're a writer, so I assume you're a
I'm
reader.
a reader and a writer. A writer and a reader.
Yeah.
I
What are
read
you
a lot.
reading these
Um,
days?
right now, I'm for my personal enjoyment, and I don't like fiction, and you're gonna say, "Oh my goodness, she doesn't like it." I no, it's not like if I go on a vacation, I will, take a book with me.
Right.
But I read a lot for self improvement, and
Mm-hmm.
I read a lot for my profession and how to improve, my skills. And I'm also a worrier. I worry about things a lot. So right now, I'm rereading a wonderful, wonderful book called "Stop Worrying and Start Living"
Mm-hmm.
by Dale Carnegie. He's, the famous author of but I just forgot all the good advice that the book had. In this summer, I picked it up on my
Kindle.
Kindle,
Uh-huh.
in my Kindle, and I am rereading it. And it really has a lot of exercises and good advice to help you, get your craziness out of, of
Yeah.
your for your day.
That's
So
wonderful.
that's, yes. And then I do read a lot for marketing and writing and communications, and try to, and articles. I read, probably 10 to 15 articles a day, just to find information for whatever I'm doing.
That's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I also want to ask you, what are some things that you're really enjoying? What are your favorite things these days?
I'm ecstatic because I went back to my yoga classes after 2 years of inactivity. So I was telling the teacher, I could feel the happiness. My body was singing with happiness. That just, it was hard, and I was very rusty,
Mm-hmm.
but I was very, very happy with that. The other thing I enjoy, of course, is when I babysit for my granddaughters twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
And they're 3 and 4. No, actually 3 and 5 now, because there was one just turned 5. And it's a great age, because they want to do things with Abu. I'm Abu.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to do things with me, and we go out, and I live in a very beautiful community that has a beautiful lake with trees, and so they like to go, and we do nature walks, and we look at the ducks and the swans, and all the things that our grandma, we make cookies, we cook
Yeah,
together.
that's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah, we are the Latino side. My son married an American girl, so they have that. I try
Mm-hmm.
to teach them our traditions, as Latinas, that
Right.
they are going to be. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
So yeah, those are the fun things that I enjoy the most right now.
Mm-hmm. Have you, what's your favorite food? Have you enjoyed any new foods? Have you discovered? Because I recently discovered sushi. I had never really, I mean, I'd
Okay.
had it a long time ago, but
Uh huh.
for some reason, I think my taste buds have changed now,
Uh
and
huh.
I love it. I love
Okay.
sushi, and I have discovered Korean beef, Korean tacos. They have Korean. There's a little
Oh
Korean
my
place
god.
down the road from my house, and I can't get enough. Is there any kind of favorite foods that you like?
Well, I discovered a couple of years ago. I discovered that I had gluten intolerance.
Oh, okay.
So I've been experimenting with new recipes for trying to replace gluten free ingredients with a lot of. I love to cook, so trying to recreate certain recipes with gluten free ingredients. So I love to cook. I love to cook for my family, for my friends. I cook for myself. I don't care.
Really? Oh, wow.
I love. I live alone, and I still every night.
Cook
Not during
something.
the day.
Yeah.
Not during the day, but and then I sit and I say, "Oh, this is so good."
So what's a typical dish that you cook? Because I don't think I know a lot about Argentina food.
Well, Argentinian food is it's two things.
It's a mixture.
Asado, which is more the Spanish
like grilled.
The grill asado or barbecue. That is the criollo tradition coming from the Spanish.
Okay.
And the mix of Spanish and native people. That's a tradition of asado. There is beef.
Right, because it's a beautiful countryside, so there's lots of cattle.
Right. And then there is a big influence of Italian, because 52% of the population in Argentina is of Italian origin.
Okay.
So pasta, lasagna, everything Italian is very, very popular in Argentina as well.
Okay.
But you come to another country and you tend to forget some of these things. I don't eat beef anymore, for instance, or very little. So I've replaced it for fish and chicken and other meats that I enjoy. And also, like I said, I try to cook healthy. I try to be, I become more health conscious as you grow older, of course.
Everybody should be health conscious. Everyone should start doing that.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
But
the older,
the older you get, it's a little more, a little more conscious about your sugar intake, or So that's what so I cook. I love tacos. I make my own tacos, fish tacos especially. I love my fish tacos.
Do you use the corn, or do you have your own? Okay, so I love corn tortillas. Maybe about 10 years ago, I stopped eating flour as much. I still do every now and then. I don't have a gluten tolerance, but intolerance. But I just have lost my desire for eating the floury, flour.
Yes.
I do love corn.
Another great benefit of being an immigrant, and I always say this, it is that I acquire an incredible sense of other cultures. In Argentina, I was Argentinian. I knew little about Latin America, and I have to confess, and this is horrible, but it's true. You're in Mexico, you're Mexican. Then you come to the United States, and you're in this group of people that have some things in common, but not all of it in common, right?
Yeah, right.
And I've learned so much, and such a beautiful things, food and traditions and cultures and legends and stories. That's one of the biggest benefits of being an immigrant. I think it is just connecting with other cultures, like you said, even not only Latino culture, Japanese culture, Korean culture, you name it, it's here. That's the country that we live in, a country of immigrants.
Yes.
And that's what we need to keep pushing for, because that's the base that this country was built on.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. One of the things I loved about my conversation with Susanna was hearing her heart to help other women feel empowered, teaching them to work harder and wiser, and to lend a helping hand to those who were coming up beside them. You can connect with Susanna on LinkedIn and with the links on my website at CorrineSandiford.com. Thanks again for listening. Music is by Ben Sound, and this podcast has been sponsored by Brentwood Life Coach. Thanks so much for listening to Rising Stories. Take care and keep rising in your own story.